Protick, JUPF team is really very fortunate to have you for its first edition. This is your second visit to Kolkata. You have been here in this city 5 years back to attend a workshop, and now you're again here as a teacher conducting a workshop yourself. So, how has been your journey so far?
Yeah, I had a desire to come back after that workshop all this time, but yes, of course, for different reasons, wasn't able to. But now that I'm here and also giving this workshop, it allows you to look back all these years and the journey that we went through. Of course, it's a good feeling to be back here and being able to connect with so many other people, younger people who are interested into photography exactly the way I were at that point, without knowing actually where I'm heading. And obviously there was no plan. I couldn't plan this, where I'm heading or where I was heading back then. So looking back, I think it's good. I'm quite happy whatever that happened, and I'm happy that I've been able to stay with the medium for the last 5 years. That I didn't quit or anything.
As we mentioned, you have conducted a workshop in this fest. So, how has been your experience with the participants, considering the fact that majority of the participants were from Kolkata?
Well, I think that's one of the major difference often when you give workshop in a different country, and often that happens is that people from other country also comes to do the workshop. And what happens is, they also are not aware of the city, or not aware of the history or all the things that details of the city. While this time, as they are most of them were Kolkata, which gave the workshop much more meaningful experience, because they were aware of what they wanted to say, or what at least they want to say. And for me that was great, because I also was focusing on the idea of finding stories from your own city or where you live. So the idea that local people trying to say local stories, which represents their past or their present, and the culture and the history and the city itself in many different levels. That was the idea of the workshop, and I think that's why it's so appropriate to have all these participants from Kolkata, because that definitely helps the process of working.
Okay, so you've been teaching photography in Pathshala for quite some time now. So, since you have visited our university as well, so do you see any possibility of development of rigorous photography practice in such university premises where apparently no media school exists? Also, is it possible to bring photography into the psyche of students who are here to study engineering, science and humanities?
I think what you said in the last point is very possible, and of course, even if it's difficult, we should try. I came from a different background before photography. I was in a different school. I studied something that was more related with business, and but somehow I got into this, and I think there are people, especially in this continent, where a lot of students have to do or study subjects that might not be their interest even, but it is because of the culture and the society and how they are somehow forced to study certain subjects. But if they are not properly exposed into all these elements, then they are not even aware of that what are the possibilities out there. That's one thing. And also secondly is that of course, the photography itself, the media needs to be also communicated into other, all these different interest of people. It should be more open to, it should be more accessible, but it should also reach in a larger audience. Just like a literature book or a poetry book would reach to many people. Doesn't matter what they study or whatever, if they practice the medium or not. And I think the photography now is what we should do, at least try to do, is to do as much work where we can actually have a much more larger and wider audience who will be the reader of the stories that we tell.
Okay, so your photographic works have got a strong influence of music and are in some ways poetic as well. So where do you see the future of this medium of photography?
Well, that is because absolutely my primary interest in music and poetry, and obviously that will have an influence. And I think different people has their different interest, even except the medium, and that should reflect in their work. That will obviously reflect in their work. The future is, well, it's a very big question. Before looking into the future, we should look also into the past, because historically photography is a much younger medium. It has been here much less time than compared to other art mediums. So we have a long way to go, and even in the short period of time there has been many evolution of the medium. There are many utilities of the medium. So but the technology is also changing, so there will always be new modes of expression, new strategies of expression. So I think it's a vast open field out there, and we will all collectively feel our own interest and our own capabilities in that field, and collectively that will become a much more dynamic, complex future.
Okay, thank you, Protick.
Thank you very much.